Larry, what a confusing game, end-to-end basketball game, a bit like the game at home, wide open, but they're asking us to score in the first half.
Yeah, we come in at 1-0 up first half. Could have been more, should have been more really, and I think that would have really killed them and gave us a platform second half. Just having that extra goal, wasn't quite able to get the second goal, and then second half we knew if they didn't win, they'll be relegated. So they were throwing bodies forward, really adventurous in their shape and the numbers they threw forward. And we just weren't good enough in terms of the times we did win it back and the moments we got into. If you look at where we were, you know, in terms of the really good run we've been on over this last couple of months, we've been able to take their moments. But today we had as many chances as we've had for a long time, and just weren't good enough in their moments. But it's not an easy place to come in terms of where they are, and I know they're bottom, but they've got some really good technical individual players. All of them have had a good background of. 1-0 up last week against Worthing, with 5 to 6 minutes to go. So, yeah, it's not an easy place to come. We knew that, but we felt it was definitely one that's got away from us today. We've had two really tough games, Ebbsfleet and Chesham, two really physical sides. So going in today at 1-0, we thought we could push on, but they probably deserved a point in terms of they've had some good moments as well in the game. And as you say, it was a crazy game, and I think that's what they wanted in terms of where they are.
Yeah.
They don't want to draw. They'd rather go for it and lose in terms of the position they're in.
I thought competitively we were first class, really scrapping away for every second ball. Once we got it and once they had it, both teams were wide open and there was open play.
Yeah, I think in terms of where we are and we're safe, and with 15 points clear, which if you asked us at Christmas, 15 points clear at relegation, staying up with realistically probably 8 games to go, we would have bitten your hand off for it. So the boys have been outstanding, and today we could have been more solid in terms of leaving more players behind the ball, but we're similar to them, but in terms of we can't go down. We want to try and win as many games as we can as well. So I'm sure you'll see probably a different game next week. But yeah, disappointed not to win, but it's not a point away from home. It's never a bad point.
A couple of moments, possibly a more quality pass, a final pass, might have actually, as you say, scored and won the game, which might have been a bit of a steal in the end. Really.
And as I say, they've had some moments as well. I'm really pleased today for Higgsy. I thought he was excellent when he came on. Francis was a threat when he came on. As you say, there was no control in the game. It was back and forth and wide open. If you look at us in terms of how much training we've actually done over the last month, we haven't done a lot. Games have been coming thick and fast. We're not full time in terms of getting the boys in every day. So we need to give them their rest alongside their work. So I think if you look at it, the lack of training time in terms of what we want to do, how we want to set up. There's only so much you can do in the dressing room. There's only so much you can say at half time. So I think the time on the training ground has been really evident in our performances. Looks a little bit disjointed. Yeah, we'll run all day. Yeah, we'll create chances, but don't look as solid or cohesive as we have done since Christmas.
Agree, and obviously this week is a different week for recovery and for training. So presumably you'll only be in one night this week.
Yeah, we're going to be in tomorrow night. We're going to be in Thursday as well. So there was the option of giving them tomorrow off, but we gave them a rest after the Ebbsfleet game, which was understandable in terms of the shift they've put in. But we're going to be in tomorrow. We'll look back on today. We'll do something with the boys who haven't played many minutes today, and then we'll do a proper session Thursday and get ready for Saturday's game. But I do think the lack of training and the time we've had with the boys, it feels like a little bit at the minute we're just turning up, picking the team and playing, and getting through on ability, work rate, and me and the gaffers know-how. So I think things will settle down a little bit now. We've got a big month in terms of the last 3 games of the season and the cup final. We want to finish the season really, really strong with some momentum going into next season.
Yeah, and just I was lucky that I stood amongst the supporters of the second half, and I could hardly hear myself think. So you must have been so pleased with your away support.
I mean, we say it every week. They're incredible, regardless of how far they've got to travel. They're the only fans you can hear. They make us so proud in terms of following us everywhere. It'll be brilliant for them to come and follow us in the cup final. That'll be a great occasion for them. But we've still got 3 important league games to build some momentum in terms of going into that final. But yeah, thank you to the fans that they're always with us, and even though we've made them proud this season, probably overachieved in terms of the job we've done, and the type of sides we've had to come up against. We still want to finish the season strong and go into the cup final with some confidence.
Excellent, and lots of I won't press you on it, but lots of planning obviously now for next season.
Yeah, and me and the gaffer just said in there that at the minute can't quite put your finger on it, but it just doesn't. We're not getting the same feel that we probably had. We've had over the last couple of months. It's not a lack of effort or anything like that. We're making decisions on boys. Some boys have been offered, some boys are waiting, and I'm sure they're getting, their agents are getting phone calls from other clubs and stuff. So we know it's not an easy time.
League football.
It's not an easy time. We're staying up quite comfortably, and we're looking forward to next season in terms of building. The players know that. They want to know where they are, not quite sure, or whether they should commit or what, something else is better for them. So it's always going to be a tough time.
Brilliant.
Coming from professional football like me and the gaffer, you've got players on 2-3-year contracts, but every year, everyone becomes a free agent.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we get it. There's a lot going on behind the scenes with the players in terms of planning. We haven't had a lot of time on the training ground. So there are some reasons behind, us looking a little bit disjointed over the last couple of weeks.
Brilliant. Thanks ever so much, Larry.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.